Hi, my name is Ben Alexander, and I have autism. And I am going to talk about autism and whether autistic people are more introverted and I guess you could be both, or extroverted. But first, welcome. And if you are new or returning, welcome. I welcome everybody, and I appreciate all of you. Though if you haven't already, could you please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, and turn on your YouTube notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. That will go a long way into reaching more people just like you and people who want to learn more about autism. Especially of autism, are autistic individuals introverted or extroverted? First, I will say that autism affects everyone differently, and it depends on where you are on the autistic spectrum. For me, I'm extremely introverted. The noises and the pressures of the world tend to make me introverted. I get overwhelmed and want to stay in and not want to talk to anybody and need a break before I can engage with society the next day. And that doesn't mean that I don't like talking to people who bring me up and make me feel valuable. Of course I want to do that. Of course I would be happy if one of you came up to me and told me that you found my channel and you found it helpful. That would mean a lot to me. And honestly, I'm just not about like small talk where you hear it a million times. It's like, how's the job? How's the day? How's the weather? Things like that, where it's like, it's very basic level stuff. It's like, at that point, I'd just rather be silent. I don't know. That's just me. And again, everybody's different. I'm more into deep conversations. I want to engage people on a deeper level. That's what I would like to do. And honestly, sometimes the funnest thing is going and playing sports. For example, as I'm filming this video, I just got back from playing pickleball with my young adult church group. So yeah, it was fun. I got to play pickleball, and it helped relax me a little bit. It got me moving, got me out of the house. It was good. It was a good time. And I'm in Ohio, and it's probably one of the last days before it gets really cold, because we're in September as I'm filming this, and October and November start to get really cold. And yeah, so I just want to enjoy the last couple days of warm weather, and it was really nice to have that. Now, if somebody that doesn't know my job for the small talk, now backtracking to that, like if somebody doesn't know, that's a completely different thing, and we could start talking about the intricacies of the job. Sure, I can do that. But it seems like a lot of the job, at least a job where it's like a lot of the stuff's the same thing each day. Well, again, it depends on what job you have, but yeah, a lot of it's pretty similar. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, when you learn a new skill, you get very excited about it. Of course, I just started a warehouse job, and I've been in it a month plus. October 12th will be 2 months for me being in a warehouse job. So I'm learning stuff every day, so it's very interesting. But the other thing is, I like to talk about theology, deep thinking, or like pop culture. Also making jokes and being around somebody who's funny. Of course, I love that, and I'm sure everybody loves that. So, you know, if you like to be funny, you have a place in society. And it's awesome to have somebody who can make you laugh. I'm not one of those people, unfortunately. I mean, maybe once in a while I'll crack a joke, but I'm very serious for 95% of the time, or check that, 98% of the time. I rarely joke, so that's just my personality. But yeah, everybody's different, like I said. Introvertedness means to just basically find a way to connect with the world. Going back to that, introvertedism, yeah, it's just deep driven conversations are a way to connect with the world, but at the same time you can spend time alone feeling you're fine and you don't have to worry about having anybody else bother you or distract you. And because sometimes people can, I don't know, be annoying. You know the feeling of annoying people, and they can get too invasive, and it happens. It's just life. But yeah, I'd say my definition of introvertedness is deep driven conversations are a way to connect with the world, but at the same time you could spend alone, feeling just fine, not having to worry about the pressures of the world. And let me know in the comments if this is a good definition of introvertedness. And also, another thing is go out to eat with somebody. And also, our young adult group ate at Panda Express, so it was nice to get to know some people. So yeah, it was a good time. So I found 2 definitions Google about introvertedness, and I will say, reading from the definitions, these are very goes hand in hand with me. So here they are. The quality of being shy and reticent. The tongue-tied introversion of the self-conscious artist. The second definition is psychology. The tendency to be concerned with one's own thoughts and feelings rather than with external things. We expected our sample to show elevated neuroticism and introversion. Like I said, this is very accurate to me. I'm a very shy person, and it takes me a while before I feel comfortable around somebody. And the second definition perfectly describes me. I care more about what's in my mind than all the other external circumstances. And on the flip side, so what is extroversionism? Honestly, I really can't describe that personality because I'm introverted. But I can at least go to Google and give you a definition. Extroversion is a personality trait that describes someone who is primarily concerned with and derives gratification from what is outside of themselves. People who are extroverted are often characterized by the following traits. Sociable. They enjoy being around people and are often seen as people's people. Talkative. They tend to be the most talkative in social situations. Assertive. They are often assertive and gregarious. Energetic. They are energized by being around others and thrive off social stimulation. Impulsive. They prefer to do an activity rather than think about doing something. Enthusiastic. They are enthusiastic about social interactions and take pleasure in large social gatherings. Warm. They are characterized by warmth and positivity. And here's a fun fact for today. The psychologist C.G. Jung first introduced the terms extroversion and introversion in the early 1900s. And the only thing that really resembles me of this definition is to do versus think. Sometimes I just do something without thinking it through, and I would say that's kind of a name, but I end up thinking too much on other times, and it can cost me, like I overthink something, and I end up screwing up. That's happened to me multiple times. I'm sure that's happened to me plenty of times at my warehouse job, since I'm new. I overthink something or don't think about it all the way through. Like my warehouse job is a perfect example of that. And you can think about your job situation too. It's or your life. Like you can think of times, I'm sure, when you think too much or you don't think enough. I'm sure that's everybody. So yeah. And I guess there's a mixture of introvertedism and extrovertedism. You could be a mix between introverted and extroverted. Which means that you have traits of both, obviously. And everyone has different personalities. And that brings me to whether autistic people are introverted or extroverted. And it really depends on who you are. And I know people on the spectrum who are introverted, and I know people who are extroverted on the spectrum. And I'll really give you a Google definition about whether autistic people are introverted or extroverted. So it says this: autistic people can be both introverts and extroverts. And there is no one-size-fits-all answer to the question of whether they are more likely to be one or the other. So, introverts. Some autistic people may prefer smaller groups or socializing rarely. They may also only socialize with other neurodivergent people. Extroverts. Some autistic people may crave social interaction and have high energy reserves for socializing. And they may struggle in unfamiliar or unstructured social situations, or get overstimulated by the sensory aspects of an environment. They may also experience exhaustion from socializing. So that's interesting. The part where it says the last part of extroverts is they may also experience exhaustion from socializing. And again, the definition says you can be both, but the funny thing is I feel like there's a tie to introversionism for autistic people. And it seems like the majority of autistic people that I know are introverts, and I guess I can kind of see why. And actually, there's the last part of this definition too. And it says autism spectrum disorder is a developmental disability that can cause problems with social communication and interaction. People with ASD may also have different ways of learning, moving, or paying attention. And really, I think Google did a great job of answering this question and really backed up my story. And I believe Google did a great job of answering this question. So, how about you? Are you introverted, extroverted, or both? Let me know in the comments section. And I appreciate you staying to the end of my video. And I'll see you in the next one.